We've got a new comic book day. The books are out. What are you reading?
Well, I'm excited about this week's JSA. It's starting a new run with Lemire about the early days of JSA from World War II, which is a personal favorite time frame of mine when they're just beginning.
Oh, it's cool.
I think anyone that enjoys DC history and legacy heroes should always take a look at any JSA book, kind of get a nod to the group that got started back in the golden age.
I'm going Batman. First two issues were great. The second one ended in some really
Very
interesting
interesting.
way. Yeah, it was like the book was like, it was fun. It was like a Batman teaches Tim Drake how to drive. He's having to drive a stick, and the Batmobile has 10 gears.
Well, I want to
We
get the
learned.
mystery gear. I think gear 13 or so. There's some
Yeah.
mystery gear that I made a big deal about that I want to know
Base
more.
game going over.
I hope I get to hear about that in this book.
So that looks cool. That was different. That story was different.
We also got new Absolute Green Lantern for those of you that are keeping up with the Absolute line and really the DC KO and Justice League and all of that all kind of fold in. So I feel you've got a reprint opportunity if you missed the printing before that. But all the Absolute line is very important what's going on with DC right now. So grabbing any of these books will help you kind of get a better visual of what's going on in the world. Absolute Superman, new. If you missed Absolute Flash or an Absolute Manhunter, they got the second printings. I'll let Jason talk about.
I'm in on Batman Nightfall. So this one is Night Fight. Sorry, gosh, they keep
Night Falls.
Yeah, this is a different one. No, Night Fight. So if you'll recall, Batman got moited by
Skewered as if
by Mr. J and KO, and he's dead. Or maybe not. They somehow bring him back in this thing, and they bring him back to fight all the Robins. But the Robins, if they were to have become Batman,
adult version.
so it's like Dick Grayson Batman against Bruce Wayne Batman in the first issue, which seems pretty awesome. The Dick Grayson Batman has a cool.
I'm looking forward to digging into that.
Yeah, he's got this cool like Nightwing Batman like crossover costume, and like the bats like that blue color the Nightwings, I believe.
And he's carrying. We joked around. He's carrying the Batleth.
Yeah, so
For Star Trek Next Generation fans, we might see a little of that.
It's very cool. Yeah, this is wow on my list. The first time I heard the concept of it, I was like, yeah, I'm in. I'm gonna do that. Because Batman versus future Robin Batman, that's part of the deal. I've always wanted, like, there was a time during the it was after Nightfall, but I can't remember what it was called.
Prodigal Son. It was Prodigal because
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Prodigal Son. But basically, Dick Grayson was Batman. I love those stories. I thought that was good setup. And then we ended up with like Azrael Bats, and he wasn't great after that. So I want to see more of the Dick Grayson Batman.
And also for new issues, it's number one we have coming out. We've got a Harley and Ivy crossover. If you're a fan of we've got some more installments of the Age of Revelation X-Men crossover, very reminiscent of the old Age of Apocalypse type storyline. So if you're looking for X-Men stories in the future, not X-Men, you've got some good opportunities there. Facsimile editions for Batman. This will be reprint issue number 47.
Nice.
Those are a lot of fun because they also reprint the ads from back in the day, the letters pages. Once again, just for people who are into the nostalgia beat, it's fun to go back and see when your floating skeleton that you scare your neighbors with, and those ads were $1.99 and things like that. Greg Rucka fans. Cheetah and Cheshire robbed the Justice League. Kind of an Ocean's 11 gig going on, a little high story, but it's Greg Rucka coming back to DC after a stint away. Always entertaining to read some of his stories. Got another Rook Exodus for your Image fans, along with another Spawn Scorched introduction. Speed Racer number 4. The old farts out there, remember that? Rushing home after school to see that. You've got an opportunity to see a little more of a modern take.
See the new collected edition for We Are Yesterday. So that was the crossover between World's Finest and Justice League Unlimited. And it was, I mean, it's Mark Waid, right? So, just
Doing what Mark Waid does.
just super fun comic booky goodness the whole time. Both those books are my favorites to pick up. When they come out, they're the ones that I read. What's this thing over here? The No Peace.
No plate.
No Place.
Ignition Press. It looked like horror dimensional, going through a door, scary stuff. I wish I knew more about it, but it's a number 1. Something.
Well, I think the big deal on this is Tim Seeley is on it. So, and the artwork is pretty freaking cool looking.
For those of you who have listened to our podcast, we really do enjoy these combat $9 comic editions, and this is V for Vendetta, a great Alan Moore story. It's also kind of reflective because the mask is a Guy Fawkes mask. For people of British history, know that he was kind of a terrorist rogue element, but it happened on November 5th, way back in the day, and tomorrow will be November 5th. So this ties into a little history there. I'm butchering the Guy Fawkes story, so please, you can look it up. Steven's going to have some things to say about that. Just, that's essentially it. November 5th is very important. Guy Fawkes, tried to blow up a bunch of stuff. This character ties into Alan Moore's take on it. We have plenty of those, and for $9, you're getting $50 worth of comics. If you try to hunt down those original issues when DC reprinted it, or if you go back to the Warrior magazines, you're probably looking at $300 worth of trying to get that story together. We have it for $9. We have the ongoing Legacy of Vader for those Kylo Ren fans out there. I know we're hopping around Echo. Solo story for that for Echo fans, the Daredevil lore.
Yeah, Echo number 1, a new number 1 with, and it's written by Taboo, who, bueno, quite good, and I like the stuff. New Adventures of Superman. And I've been digging the Adventures of Superman. At first, they didn't have me. Like, at first, they said it was like a continuation of the
Cartoon?
No, they said there was a continuation of, what's a Future State. And I was like, nope. It's not so much. It's, I get what they're trying to say. They did themselves a disservice. It's actually a cool story. So I'm a bit of a sucker for any Superman book. So, but that one I'm enjoying not as much as the like mainstream Superman. Mainstream Superman, super good, and it's really deeply tied into all the
shenanigans going on with
chaos stuff.
And speaking of Superman, if you missed Crypto, the Last Dog of Krypton, we got the second printing. We got issue 1 and 2, so you can get caught up. 3 on the wall. Some trade paperbacks of note. We've got the John Osterman Spectre, $125 omnibus with those of you who remember back in the day. These are great. This feels like it might be glow in the dark, like the first issue or issue 0 was back in the day. It's also thick enough to stop a .22 caliber bullet if you need to put that front, because that's the bullet that killed Jim Corrigan that turned him into the Spectre. So if he'd had that, wow, we wouldn't have had that trade. That's some lore right there. That's going deep. Some G.I. Joe trades. Zantana from the last miniseries that came out. Redcoat, Volume 2 trade paperback. For those of you that aren't familiar with that universe, the Ghost Machine universe that Image has put out, it is very interesting reading. I actually like the Redcoat run out of that because the idea is of a British soldier Redcoat who accidentally becomes immortal, and you find out that Ben Franklin, George Washington, all these historical figures have some legacy and mortality issues amongst them, and they've affected history in ways that I'll give John some credit. He sat down with a history book and went there and took
A dinner
notes.
review.
Yeah, they're
That's good.
historically accurate, but just unbelievable little scenarios of this poor guy who's traveling through time, who just wants a good jug of mead. So I can understand that.
Well, it's sort of Wolverine, but even more of a drunk.
Oh, yep, that's brilliant. With that guy.
Yeah. So I dig that one. That is, well, I think those are the ones that jumped out at me.
And that's
At
really,
least.
this is our first attempt at something like this. We're going to try to do these. Hey, this is what's coming out. Just to give you
I've been reading Boy Ride.
I started with it with the Transformers reveal.
Yeah.
Then I moved over into Transformers. I have not picked Void back up. I do know it has a fan following. The new issue has come out.
This one looks
24.
really Transformer-y.
Well, there's an alien element in there. And I'm butchering
more
it.
races.
I will be the first to admit I don't know a whole lot about Void Rivals, but who does is our store manager, John. So if you come in on Wednesday, the idea is for you to come in Wednesday, meet John, and give him as much of your money as you possibly can and still pay rent and buy our stuff. That's why we're here.